Hello, my name is Professor Kent Lee. Welcome to Academic English Foundation Level. First of all, my name is Lee, but I'm not Korean or Chinese, as you can tell. My name is actually British American. It is an Old English word, and you can look it up in the dictionary. I'm from the US. This is Academic English 1 Foundation, and I'll talk a little bit about the course and the types of things we will do this semester. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about changes in the course due to the coronavirus. Then we will go through the course policies in the syllabus. The 강의 계획. The 강의 계획 is a syllabus. You should get the syllabus either from the 수강, the course registration system in the portal, or from Blackboard. We'll talk later about Blackboard, which is a system that Code uses for course materials. Then we'll talk about some of the first assignments you will do in this class. So, the situation is kind of interesting and a little difficult, but we'll do our best because of the coronavirus. At least the first 2 weeks of classes will be online. So I will put links to these videos in Blackboard and send them to you, as well as some handouts, papers in PDF later for next class, for example. The midterm and final exams are pushed back 1 week. It is possible that we may have to do online classes more than 2 weeks. It depends on how the situation goes with the coronavirus. But we'll do our best. Let's talk about the course contents. I don't use a regular textbook. I don't like usual textbooks. I made my own. It will probably look something like this, and I will have this ready in a couple of weeks for you to buy from a campus print shop, a photocopy place near campus. It is much cheaper this way. This is only about 만원, and this will be ready later. I will also have a class website later with some other materials. You'll need to get the course syllabus, and it's also in this book, and it will look something like this. There's information about me, how to contact me. This class is not Hagwon English. This is University Academic English. It's different. You will have to take classes in English at Code in other departments, your major and general education or 교양 classes. Some will be in English. So Academic English, this class, this semester and next semester, are designed to help prepare you for that kind of thing, as well as working maybe in English. Someday you might work on the job using English, or you might go for a PhD or master's degree, saksa, baksa, master's PhD, someday you need English. So this focuses on academic skills, reading, writing, and discussion and presentation skills for classes where you have to do things in English. So here's an outline of the kinds of assignments. Attendance, you'll need to come to class. I will check your attendance starting in April, or whenever we start with actual live classes. So don't worry about attendance right now. There will be various minor assignments, homework assignments, short paragraph writing assignments, maybe some in-class writing assignments, couple of online forms, survey forms to fill out, and things like that. Each of those minor assignments, like homework assignments, will be worth about 10 points, maybe 20 points, and at the end of the semester I will add them all up and convert it to a 100-point score. There is a midterm and final project, and this will be kind of one project. The topic will be scholarship applications, and this is maybe to help you practice writing and speaking skills for applying for scholarships and other things that you may have to apply for in the future. So there are no traditional in-class exams in my class. I don't do traditional in-class midterm and final exams. Instead, you'll do some writing, maybe a midterm writing assignment, possibly in class or at home, and then there's a final paper which you will do at home, and an in-class discussion. It's going to be a group discussion where you will do kind of pretend scholarship interviews as if you are applying for a scholarship. And I think these are practical kinds of activities for your college careers. So that's all a final project consists of a midterm paper, a final paper, and a final group discussion activity. How I grade these is explained in the back of my book. There is a schedule, and these things could change a little bit, but this gives you an idea of what we are doing. And there's a little more explanation about assignments. Attendance, I will check attendance when regular classes start again. You can be absent 2 times. After that, there will be penalties. That is, I will take points off of your attendance grade for too many absences, for being late too often, and things like that. There are excused absences, things that can be excused if you bring me a document. Illness, family emergencies, military exams, women's pink days, and sometimes you have to attend some important event in your department. As long as you bring me some kind of document or send me a document for that, those are okay. Also in the Corday portal, there is a place where you can also apply for excused absences if it's an illness or an emergency. There's an explanation of the grades, the typical grades for the courses, what the grades are like, what's an A or a B+. For foundation, we don't really give A+. A's are not really common. Foundation is graded basically according to the same expectations as regular academic English. So if you deliberately did poorly, well, not you, but in the past some students tried to do poorly on their placement test, thinking, oh, I'll get into foundation, it will be easy, but no, it doesn't work. Grading is the same. There's some more explanation about assignments and papers here. You should read that. It is important that you participate in class. So this is not Hagwon style English. We do a lot of class discussion and activities, discussing topics as a whole class together, and then a lot of group activities and group discussions. So many times I will put you into groups and have you do something or discuss something. You must try to talk in English. It may be uncomfortable, but you have studied English for many years. You know a lot, but you need to practice it. You will learn by practicing. You will also learn by making mistakes. Don't worry about making mistakes. You have to learn by making mistakes. That's part of learning a language. So don't worry. You have to use English in class. And all I ask is that you try your best to speak in English in class. You can use mobile devices if it's related to class, like dictionary lookup or searching for contents for an assignment. Otherwise, don't play with your phones or devices. It's important that you pay attention in class. There's some other policies in here that you should read. Contacting me. I have several email accounts. They're in here. If you use a Korean email account, it's best if you email my Korean email account. If you use Gmail, it's best if you send it to my Gmail, because emails can get lost on the internet. I try to answer emails sometimes in the evening or weekends. I'm taking care of my son and I can't respond quickly, but I try, especially if it's important. After you get the book, there will be I'll put this online too. There's a section of some tech tips. I will ask you, when you do major assignments, written assignments, to use document formats that can be read on any operating system. So PDF, RTF, LibreOffice, Google Docs, Microsoft Word. I'll ask that you not use HWP. It doesn't do English text right, and I can't open it on my computer sometimes because I don't use Microsoft Windows. I hate Microsoft. I'm a Linux user. And HWP does not support Linux. They only support Windows. And the world is moving more towards Linux anyway. It's 2020. There's some other tech tips in here. There are free programs you can use for writing your papers, like LibreOffice and Google Docs and Polaris Office. Let me show a look at that. Oh, I'll put this online. Some other things to talk about. We will use Blackboard for the first 2 weeks for things. Blackboard is a learning management system, LMS, or for course contents. I have used Blackboard to send you messages, and if you didn't get those messages, maybe Code does not have a correct email address for you that's working, or it's not in the Code system. You can check that information in the portal, or actually the best thing to do, even if you are getting messages from me anyway, is to activate your Code email address, and it's pretty reliable. It's at mail.korea.ac.kr, so go there and set up your student email address. That will be helpful. You will need to do email in college if you're not used to that. In college, we use email. Professors send information through email. If you have a job someday, you will use email on the job. It's an important skill to learn. You need to check email regularly. Then you will need to go to the Blackboard site. So kulms.korea.ac.kr. KULMS stands for Korea University Learning Management System, the Blackboard. Materials, handouts will be posted there. Links to these videos will be posted there. Usually as freshmen, you would start the semester, then later you would have some kind of orientation session where you learn how to use Blackboard. But these are unique circumstances. You have to learn it now on your own. It's not too hard to learn. There's a space for assignments where I will say, here's an assignment, turn it in here in the assignment space, especially the first 2 weeks. And there is an announcement space. You can log in and see announcements that I have sent, messages I have sent out in the past. And there will be a space where I have handouts too, a separate, where you can see all the handouts or things I've uploaded, like the syllabus. Later I'll have a course website too. So I've talked about the class and what it's about, the general schedule and policies. There are more policies in the syllabus that you should read. Now, you took a placement test that placed you either in students in either regular or foundation level. The placement test or primary assessment does not always work. So, in all of our academic English classes, we do a secondary assessment or diagnostic. This is just to make sure that everybody is placed in the right level, and that's the first thing you should do. This is not for a grade. It's not graded. I just want to get a little writing sample from you and see if you're in the right level. So there will be an announcement on Blackboard and in the assignment space, the diagnostic or secondary assessment. And this will be something simple. I just want you to write a short paragraph telling me about yourself. Introduce yourself. Tell me about your major, why you chose your major, or why your major chose you. Tell me about where you're from. Tell me something interesting about yourself also. If you're from Seoul, tell me about what part of Seoul you're from and something interesting about that area. If you're from another city, tell me where you're from and something interesting about your city or town. And that's all. That's a short paragraph assignment. And I just want to see if you're in the right class. So you should do that today. That's due before the next class. You should do that right now. The first real assignment is a minor 10-point assignment. And it's an online Google form and survey. So I will ask you some information about yourself, including email addresses. So for example, when I need to send feedback on your midterm or your final, I want 2 email addresses so I can make sure you get it, or if I need to contact you. There are also some survey questions. Some of them are in English and Korean. And I just want your honest opinions about your English and how you feel about English. And I just want you to be honest. There are no right or wrong answers. You get 10 points just for doing the survey. You get 10 points just for doing it. There's no right or wrong. Some of the survey questions I might want to use for my research or to help with my classes in the future. So you should do that probably by the third class, beginning of the second week. And after that, the second week, there will be a little email assignment, and I will tell you about that later on. So those are your first assignments. Your secondary assessment or diagnostic, not for a grade, just to get a writing sample from you. The Google form survey, a minor assignment, and then later an email assignment, which I will tell you about. I think that's it for today. If you have questions, email me. Next time we are going to talk about vocabulary. So I am a linguist, 언어학자, and one thing I find interesting is English vocabulary in Korean. Korean has borrowed some English words and done some very interesting or creative things. You have used these words probably a lot. You may or may not know that the meaning in Korean is different than in English. And actually, Korean has done creative and interesting things with these words, which is cool, but you should understand that the meanings are different in English. So we're going to talk about that next time. So if you have any questions, please email me. And otherwise, good luck on your new semester. And by the way, welcome to Code, welcome to Academic English, and good luck in your semester and your time at Code. Thank you, and see you next time.